Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be exploring Banff National Park.
Banff is Canada's first national park and it's a UNESCO heritage site. There's so many different lakes here, mountains, glaciers, and just so much beautiful nature. I think when people imagine Canada, this is what people imagine. And I believe it's one of the most visited places in Canada. And we're so excited that we finally made it. We're here on a day trip because we're on a budget and Banff is really expensive. If you want to stay here for a night, it's basically a fortune. So we came on the bus from Calgary, which was about an hour drive. And we have 12 hours here. We came here super early. So let's see what we're going to do. We're definitely going to visit Lake Louise. So let's get the day started.
To start our day here in Banff, we decided to pop into Wildflower Bakery, spelt like the bakery flour, not the flour. And I got myself a Dandelion Mushroom latte, which sounds super weird and super interesting. And to go with that, we got ourselves a cheese croissant. Let's see. Very tasty. Not particularly earthy. Doesn't really taste like mushrooms or dandelions to me, but I mean, I've never eaten a dandelion before, I don't think. But yeah, it's good. Of course, a coffee is the perfect way to start any day, especially when you're gonna do a lot of exploring and hiking. Let's try this croissant though. It has ham inside too, it looks like.
Yeah, it's ham and cheese.
Oh yeah, it's a ham and cheese croissant, not a cheese. It's really greasy on my fingers, but it's super cheesy, super flaky, and almost a little bit doughy still inside, which I really like actually.
It's not bad. I thought you made it seem like it's not that good. It's actually quite nice. It tastes kind of like, I don't know, like Christmas cookies or something.
That's what I said. It reminds me of a weak chai latte.
Not quite, but interesting. I don't even drink coffee, so it means a lot if I like it. There's a bird. He wants to hang out with us. It's a pretty good cheese and ham croissant. And they obviously had a lot of other things. They had some sandwiches and pastries and things like that. The sandwiches were kind of expensive. I mean, we knew everything was going to be expensive here, but even just going to a cafe, you kind of can tell that things are pricey because the sandwiches didn't look like special or anything like that. They just looked pretty basic. And $15 for a sandwich is too much for us. That's why we got the pastry, which was $5.50, I think, which is like a normal price. So we also went to a different place called the Banff National Perk, which is just like 1 minute walk from the Wildflower Cafe. And we got a breakfast burrito or a wrap. This was also $5.
So small.
Which is quite pricey. But this place had sandwiches for $9.50 and stuff, so it might be a better option if you're on a tight budget. Let's see.
I mean, $5 is pretty good, and I feel like that could definitely fuel you.
This is basically just egg and sausage pieces. Pretty yummy. I like it. Reminds me of like a McDonald's wrap or something.
Yeah.
But I wish I had ketchup.
Exactly what Ani said. Tastes like a breakfast burrito from McDonald's, except it's $5. But $5 in a place like Banff is actually pretty cheap. So I would recommend this one.
There's a public bus system in Banff National Park, which is called Roam Transit. And it takes you all around the park to different towns and lakes and canyons. And it also takes you to Lake Louise, and we're gonna take that bus later. It's the 8X bus, I think, and it costs $10. And for that bus specifically, you're supposed to reserve it in advance, because if you don't reserve it, I think there's really, really long lines. And sometimes you have to wait multiple buses, and the buses only go like once an hour or every half hour, so that would be a bit of a disaster. I managed to book a bus at 1:20 today. Unfortunately, there were no buses earlier, so don't make the same mistake and wait until the last minute because they will sell out, and then you'll have to wait and hope that you'll be able to get a spot on the bus. It's 9 o'clock right now, so we have to kill a few hours, but it's beautiful here, so we're gonna just explore Banff Town, and there's also a waterfall close by, Bowes Falls, I think. Yeah, we're just gonna enjoy the town and the scenery and wait for a bus to Lake Louise later.
Now, if you're wondering how we got here exactly, we decided to book through a company called BusBud. And it was actually quite cheap. It was $13.65 to get here, and the shuttle company we used was ABestX. And on the way back, we were coming back with a different shuttle company, and that was only $19.95 Canadian. So incredibly cheap. I'm sure that if you booked a car with all your friends and everything like that, maybe it could possibly be cheaper getting all the way from Calgary to Banff, but I don't really know. And we had the entire shuttle to ourselves, which was amazing. So $13.65 per person for a private shuttle is absolutely amazing. I'm sure there are multiple other companies that you can use, but we would definitely recommend the one that we took. It was a little bit confusing getting the bus. We went to Crowfoot Station, and then there was a bus stop called the On Go, I think, bus station where we had to get the bus. It took us a couple minutes to find it because we didn't have Wi-Fi, but overall, nice, smooth journey. And yeah, it was a beautiful ride as well.
There's actually an even cheaper option to get here from Calgary, and that's the On Go bus. I think that's an actual public transit bus. And that one costs, I think, $10 to $12 per person. It takes a bit longer. It takes around 2 hours, I think. And we opted for the shuttle because I wasn't sure if a public bus means that if it's full, you might have to stand. And I really didn't want to stand for 2 hours potentially. So that's why I was like, okay, let's spend a few more dollars to take a private shuttle and just have a seat and enjoy the ride. And it was a beautiful ride. So yeah, amazing. But if you want to take the On-Go bus, it would only cost you $10 to $25 per person to get here from Calgary and back, so that's pretty good. One thing you can do to maybe kill some time in Banff is go to the White Museum, which shows you a bunch of stuff about the Rockies, and it costs $12. But we're not going to do that because we want to stay outside and enjoy the nature.
We don't have time for that.
So we're just walking along the Bow River right now to the waterfalls, and it's so beautiful. We are basically stopping every 2 seconds to take photos because it's just so stunning.
I mean, how can you not? The freaking mountain views, the lush green forest, the nice relaxing sound of the river, like it's perfect setting. I mean, I'm from the East Coast, so we don't really have this, but if I could have grown up anywhere else in Canada, it definitely would have been somewhere like this with mountains because they're just gorgeous.
And speaking of photos, we actually have an Instagram account with the handle wherearewee.ig. If you don't follow us already, you should definitely follow us. Then maybe we'll actually post more often because we haven't been good at it, but we will try to be better.
We're now at Bow Falls, which is 30 feet high and 100 feet wide. It's not the biggest waterfall we've ever been to, but it's super beautiful.
And turns out this waterfall is featured in a movie with Marilyn Monroe called River of No Return. Never heard of it. Maybe we have to watch it when we get home. So we have about an hour before our bus goes to Lake Louise. So we took a little break here right next to the bus stop and we went to the Fudgery, which is a fudge place. And it's been around since 1976. And they have all sorts of things like little chocolates and obviously fudge. We got a sample, which was delicious. And they have caramel apples and ice cream and all those things. And I got a caramel apple with nuts. We don't really have these in Germany where I'm from. We usually just have those red candy apples that are really hard and not with like soft caramel. So I really wanted one because I've only ever had them at Disney World in Florida. I haven't had one since I was like 20. So let's see. So much caramel. I feel like a child again. I really love how like apples work with peanuts. Like, you know how you use like peanut butter over here as well and you like dip your apple slices? Or at least Brandon does that, I don't know. That's what it reminds me of. It's a good snack.
Being from Canada, I definitely grew up with caramel apples, candied apples, all those. And this one looks really, really good. It looks like there's other nuts other than peanuts on here too, like a couple. I don't know if those were just strays or what.
It's also your favorite type of apple.
Yeah, I love a Granny Smith tart green apple, so this is up my alley. All right. Even though we're on a budget, I wouldn't consider this that expensive as a little treat or a little snack because it's only like $6. And this thing is freaking hefty. As a little treat in between our adventures, I think it's a good choice. We also got this dark snail chocolate treat. It has a pecan on top, pecans inside, and caramel, and it is melting. So let's just eat this. Oh. This is so sweet, so chocolatey, so rich, but so delicious. Yeah, this is definitely perfect to share between two people. I don't know if I could eat this whole thing, but frick, that is delicious.
That snail was delicious. It's actually very similar to a turtle, which is a Canadian chocolate treat, and actually one of my favorite chocolate treats. I always used to get it when I lived in Canada. It's just this caramel thing with pecans, so just like the one they made here, homemade. This one is better because the chocolate is just like so much more rich, and I actually kind of liked it melted. Like it was like, it just made like the chocolate so much more like rich, I don't know. The fudge was a bit expensive, so we didn't buy any. Yeah, it was $5 per 100 grams, and they only sold it in like 250 gram batches, so that would have been like $12.50 plus tax and all that, so no. We're now waiting in line to get on the bus to Lake Louise, and if you do the same, just make sure that you come to the bus stop that's a little bit further from the Banff High School transit hub or whatever. Like there's a normal bus stop for the public transit buses, and then just a few steps further there's the 8X bus to Lake Louise, and there's like a queue system and everything, so that's where you have to come.
You can't come to Banff National Park without coming to Lake Louise, which is a little hamlet in Banff National Park. There's a little town part of Lake Louise as well, but of course, the lake itself is what this area is known for. And as you can see, it's got these incredible turquoise blue waters, which is glacier water. And apparently, according to Anya, it is freezing all year round. So we're gonna touch this after and see if it's true. There's also a lot of grizzlies in this area, so hopefully we don't get eaten. And right near the lake is actually the Fairmont Hotel, which is stunning, but I think rooms are like $1,000 or more. So we are far too poor for that. So we're just gonna admire the surroundings and take it all in.
This lake is super, super stunning. Whenever you read about it online, it says like that you're gonna be in awe when you like walk up the path. And I don't know, I'm never really that struck by things, but this was actually amazing. I feel like I actually felt a little bit like
emotional.
Yes, because it's so beautiful. Like it's such a, like it's stunning. It's literally the definition of stunning. It's amazing.
I feel like Banff and all this area in general is totally reminding me of Queenstown though. Like I got that same vibe too, that same like feeling when we walked around there. And
Queenstown, New Zealand.
Queenstown, New Zealand, yeah.
It's
incredible.
Amazing too. Yeah, I agree. It's very similar. And when we first went to Queenstown or just generally New Zealand, I was always like, I think this is how I imagine Canada. And now I finally got the real deal.
Yeah, and now we have the Rockies behind us. So cool to be here.
Now that we're here at the beautiful Lake Louise, we're going to take a break and have a snack or some lunch. When we were in Banff, we went to a place called To Go Arashi, which is this little Japanese shop in this little shopping mall. They sell ready meals, like Japanese ready meals that they sell in like 7-Eleven or Lawson's in Japan. Usually they have either onigiri or sushi, and it's really affordable. We got a sushi roll, and it was only $6.99, I think. And they had other ones, and I think the onigiri that they only have on certain days, they're normally even cheaper. And then they also had like some like bowls with rice and meats or fish for $8 something. So if you're on a budget and you want to do a picnic somewhere, you should definitely check it out, especially if you like Japanese food. And we love Japanese food. We got a tuna mayo roll with avocado, and it looks delicious. Yeah, it's perfect. So fresh. And the rice to fish ratio is like perfect. And I forgot to get some soy sauce, but it was still delicious.
Yeah, that place was the perfect spot if you are on a budget. They had bentos for $10 as well. They also had a bunch of different Japanese snacks, but we went with the tuna roll, as she said. I mean, for $7, that is not bad at all. That is really good, actually. And like 2 of these would definitely fill you up. So great spot. So if you are in Banff, we definitely suggest that you check this place out because it's really, really good.
We're now walking to Lake Louise town, and we're walking along this trail. It's trail number 3. I think it's called the Lake Louise Creek Trail, and I hope we're not gonna get killed by bears. This trail is very pretty though. It's like pretty much in the middle of the forest, or not in the middle of the forest, but that's what it seems like. There's all these trees, there's a little stream, and there's nobody on this trail apart from a bike that just passed us. But yeah, I feel like I'm lost in the woods in Canada. Luckily, we weren't killed by any bears. We made it safe into Lake Louise town. To be honest, the town is not really a town. It's more like a parking lot with some stores and cafes and things like that. And there's also a hotel with a pub close by. We went there, but the pub was too dark. Now we're just gonna sit here and wait. The reason why we came here was because we just had too much time at Lake Louise, and obviously there's loads of hiking trails and stuff. We're not really the most like hikey people.
Active.
So we decided to walk here, and we're actually taking a ride back with a person. Like, I found this app called Popo Ride, and it's kind of like BlaBlaCar in Europe. So it's not really like Uber, it's like a carpooling app. And we booked a ride with this woman who works at the hotel at Lake Louise, and she drives back to Banff every day. So she's gonna drive us, which is gonna be nice because there was no reservations left for the bus back. So I had to find a different option. And yeah, this was a really affordable option because it was only $8 each, cheaper than the bus. So let's hope she picks us up, and then we'll be back in Banff for some dinner.
Something worth noting is that we are here in early June, and although we did reserve the 8X bus in advance, there was plenty of people who didn't, and it seemed like coming at this time of year, maybe you could get away with not making a reservation. I'm not sure if it's going to be the same way to get back or not, because there was quite a lot of people, but I feel like you could maybe risk it in June, but in July and August, when the high season of Banff National Park picks up, I think you should probably go ahead and make your reservation in advance. We made it back to Banff, and we did not get killed by any bears. We did not get murdered by our Popo Ride driver. She was actually really sweet. Although this has been a day of mostly budgeting and trying to not spend too much money, we did splurge a little bit for dinner, although we are splitting this. We went to a place called the Eddy Burger and Bar, and we got ourselves the Rocky Mountain Burger. And what this is an elk burger. It's got this blueberry chutney on top, cheddar cheese, caramelized onions, romaine lettuce, and we also got it with a side poutine. And this looks legit, although I don't think I've really seen many poutines with crinkle cut fries, but it does have cheese curds, which is by far the most important. All right, I'm gonna try this burger. We are starving after a massive day of exploring, checking out these beautiful sights. It is time to eat. I'm actually salivating. This looks so good. That is absolutely delicious. It's super peppery. You have the sweetness from that blueberry chutney as well. I don't know that I would say it tastes super different from a beef burger, although I haven't had elk many times, and I certainly haven't had elk in a burger form. This is absolutely amazing, and it better be because it was $32 for this burger and this poutine.
This looks so delicious. The patty's so thick, and the chutney just looks so weird, but
So blue.
it's so purple. Okay. That's a good burger. It's so delicious. It tastes so homemade. It does taste different than beef, I feel like. It almost tastes almost a bit porky or something. I don't know, like a mix. I don't know, it tastes different, but it's delicious. I really like this chutney. I really like the bun, the brioche bun. But yeah, I just love the combination of it. This is really, really good. Yum. Let's try this poutine. It has so many cheese curds, and that's how it should be. It's my favorite part. These fries are really crispy. I like it. And these cheese curds are delicious, but they're not squeaking in my mouth. They're squeaking a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Let's eat, let's devour this. I actually think this is quite a good deal after all, because it's only, including the tip, it's 32 Canadian, which is around 23 USD. And with this poutine and the cheese curds, and for the amount of food, it's a good deal. Like, I feel like both of us are gonna be full with one portion. That's just pretty normal in Canada and North America in general, I guess. We've learned, just get one meal and share it, because it's usually enough. The bus back to Calgary is going to pick us up in around 45 minutes. This time we're going with a different company. I think they're called Banff Airport Bus, but it's, I think, the same type of shuttle that we took in the morning. I'm super happy that we did the day trip to Banff. I think we saved a lot of money by not spending a night here, because I do think if you come here and spend the night, you probably have to spend 2 nights because of like check-in times at the hotel, and if you have your luggage, I feel like that way you lose a lot of time, and we actually had 12 hours here.
The average for one night in a hotel in Banff is around $300 to $400. Some of them go up even further. If you go to the Fairmont Hotel by Lake Louise, it's actually $1,000 a night. We spent less than that for our one day, including all transportation, all food, and our hotel in Calgary. So yeah, this is definitely a significant drop in price if you still want to go to Banff, but you don't have the money to necessarily rent a car, stay a night in Banff, and pay those crazy hotel fees. So yeah, we highly, highly recommend to do this day trip because it's so freaking beautiful here. We will actually put a breakdown of our costs on the screen so that you can get an idea of what exactly we spent and how much in the end. But that is it for this video. So please, if you did like it, please give it a like, write us a comment, and by far the most important thing is to hit that subscribe button. But that is it for now. We'll see you all in the next one.